good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss the next topic in second unit, that is algebraic structure. So in this class we are going to discuss what do you mean by algebraic structure, why we are using algebraic structure in discrete mathematics. Okay. So algebraic structure. A non-empty set G equipped with one or more binary operations is said to be an algebraic structure. Suppose star is a binary operation on G. So star is a binary operation on G. Then G star is a algebraic structure. Then G star, here star represents the binary operations plus R. Dot means product. Okay, then G star is an algebraic structure, and the sets n means natural number set. So n star z plus z dot. So plus is a binary operation and given integer set. Okay, dot is a binary operation on given integer set, are all the algebraic structure. So here this R plus dot is an algebraic structure equipped with two operations. So first of all, what is unary operation and what is binary operation? So a mapping defines from A to A. Here A is any non-empty set, or suppose F maps G to G, G is any non-empty set, is called unary operation. Okay, so a mapping F is defined G to G, that is called unary operation, and a mapping F maps A cross A to A cross A to A is called binary operation. Okay, so binary operation on a set. Suppose G is a non-empty set. Then G star G, that is equal to that G star G containing the elements ordered pairs A comma B, such that A belongs to Z and B belongs to Z. Okay, means Cartesian product A comma B, A belongs to Z and B belongs to Z. If that F defining a mapping from G to G to G, G star G to G, then F is called a binary operation on a set G. So here G is a non-empty set and we define a binary operation, that is G star G. So G star G, here G star G containing the elements look like an ordered pair A comma B, that is Cartesian product. So here A belongs to Z and B belongs to Z. So F is defined on the set G star G to G, then F is called a binary operation on a set G. The image of the ordered pair A comma B. So this is domain and codomain. So G star G is the domain and G is codomain. So the image of A comma B, this is a domain element. The image of ordered pair A comma B under the function F is denoted by AFB. Okay, it is denoted by AFB. So a binary operation on a set G is sometimes also said to be the binary composition in the set G. If star is a binary composition in G, then A star B belongs to Z, A comma B belongs to Z. Okay, therefore G is closed with respect to the composition denoted by star. So here an example, an addition is a binary operation on the set n of natural numbers. So here given set is natural number set and defined binary operation is addition on the set n. So for defining binary operation addition, n is it satisfies or not, we will check it satisfies or not. So the sum of two natural numbers is also natural number. Is it correct? Yes. So sum of two natural numbers. So natural number set starts with 1, 2, 3 and so on. So any two natural numbers we take and we add sum of these two natural numbers. Suppose 2 plus 3 that is equal to 5. So 5 is also a natural number. So 7 plus 10, 17. 17 is also a natural number. So therefore n is a natural number with respect to the addition. With respect to the addition, that is a plus b. Okay. So here addition is a binary operation in the set n, but subtraction is not a binary operation on the set n, because suppose we take two numbers 4 minus 4, 4 minus 4, we get the solution minus 3. So natural number set do not have negative number. So that's why subtraction is not a binary operation on the set n. Okay. So this is the example. We have 4 minus 4 that is equal to minus 3 not belong to n, whereas 4 belongs to n. Here 4 and 7, these two elements are considering from the set n, but the resulting element does not belongs to n. That's why we say n is subtraction is not a binary operation on n. So thus n is not closed with respect to subtraction, not closed with respect to subtraction. But subtraction is a binary operation on the set of an integer. So but subtraction is a binary operation on the set of an integer, because it's an integer set containing all positive integers and negative integer. So subtraction is closed, is a binary operation on the integer set, but not a binary operation on the natural number set. Okay. So properties of an algebraic structure. So what is an algebraic system? It is a non-empty set with two binary operations plus and dot, and it contains two distinct elements 0 and 1 is called a algebraic system. So the set G star, so star represents a binary operations closed in that set. Okay. That set is called algebraic system. Then the following properties are also satisfied. Okay. The properties of an algebraic structure is, by a property of an algebraic structure we mean a property possessed by any of its operations. So in the important properties of algebraic system are associative and commutative laws. So first one, associative. So what is associative law? An operation star, here star represents a binary operations defined on the given set, given non-empty set. So you have to remember that here a star represents a binary operations which defined on the given non-empty set. Okay. That is either addition or multiplication or subtraction. Okay. Any operation star on a set is said to be associative, or to satisfy the associative law if for any element a comma b comma c in S, we have the condition, the property is a star b star c is equal to a star b star c. A star b star c is equal to a star b star c. Okay. So the first property, what is that? Associative law. If a comma b comma c n is any elements of a given non-empty set S, so it satisfies, that is element satisfies the condition a star b star c is equal to a star b star c. And second law is, an operation star on a set is said to be commutative or satisfies the commutative if a comma b belongs to a given non-empty set S, then it satisfies the condition law a star b is equal to b star a. A star b is equal to b star a. So first is associative, that condition is a star b star c is equal to a star b star c, and commutative law is a star b is equal to b star a. So next, another law is identity element and inverse or complement. Inverse or complement, we can call it as inverse or complement. Consider an operation star on a set S. So here star represents a binary operation. An element E in S. So here S represents a non-empty set, non-empty given set. Okay. An element E in S is called an identity element for star. Here star represents given binary relation. For that binary relation, E is an identity element. If for any element A in S, for any element A in S, that is the condition is A star E is equal to E star A. So A star E is equal to E star A, that is equal to A. So here binary relation is any relation, it is addition or multiplication or subtraction. So the binary relation with A into identity element that gives the same element. This is the identity law. Okay, A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. So E is the identity element. Okay, so generally an element is called a left identity or a right identity according to as E star A or A star E is equal to A. So left identity element and right identity element, where A is any element in this is left identity, this is right identity element. Okay, where A is any element in S. Suppose an operation star on a set S does have an identity element E. The inverse of an element in S is A element B such that A star B is equal to B star A is equal to E. Suppose an operation star represents a binary operation. Okay. Suppose an operation star on a set S does have a identity element. If that set have an identity element, so the inverse of the element in S is an element B such that the condition is A star B is equal to B star A is equal to E. So here star represents addition and multiplication. In that any binary operation, any two elements, so A plus B or A into B, which gives the resulting identity element, then B is called inverse element of A. Then B is called inverse element of A. Okay. Next one, so cancellation law. An operation star on a set S is said to satisfy the left cancellation law. So what is left cancellation law? A star B is equal to A star C. So left values cancel. The remaining value implies B is equal to C. Okay. A star B is equal to A star C, which implies B is equal to C. This law is called left cancellation law. Similar way, B star A is equal to C star A. So here A is in right side. So this is right cancellation law. B star A is equal to C star A implies B is equal to C. And this law is called cancellation law for left hand and right hand. Okay, for left hand and right hand. So the given set along these four laws will satisfy the non-empty set G, which contains two binary operation, that is a plus and dot, and a unary operator dash, and two elements 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 are identity and inverse elements. Then only this whole set, that G, is called a algebraic system. Okay. So next definition is semi-group. Semi-group. Okay. So a non-empty set S, a non-empty set S, S star is called a semi-group if it follows the following axioms. It follows the following axioms. So the closure law. So A star B belongs to S for all A comma B belongs to S. So if we consider two elements A comma B, so we apply the given binary operation. So that resulting is also belongs to S. Then we say that this set satisfies closure property. Okay. So here star is a given binary operation. It may be addition or multiplication. So whatever it is, the given taking two elements satisfies the condition means that the resulting is also belongs to S. Then we say that the set satisfies closure law. Okay. So associative law. So what is the condition for associative? A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. So A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. So here star is a binary, given binary operation. It may be addition or multiplication. So for all A comma B comma C belongs to S. So if we take the three elements A, B, C in given non-empty set S, so these three elements satisfies the condition A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. Then the given set is closed with associative. Then we say that the given set S is closed with associative. So what is semi-group? A non-empty set S together with the binary operation star is called semi-group if it satisfies the following properties. That properties are closure and associative. So closure means if A comma B belongs to S, which gives A star B belongs to S. Associative, if A comma B belongs to A comma B comma C belongs to S, and A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. So a semi group is always an algebraic structure. Okay. So example, set of integers set of integers integers z plus psi is a semi group, and matrix star are also examples of semi group, because if we consider any two elements of integers, so suppose 5 and 3, so 5 comma 3 it satisfies the closure property. So 5 comma 3 belongs to given set S. So we can define a binary operation multiplication. 5 into 3 15, 15 also belongs to integer set. Okay. Or we consider positive plus binary operation. 5 plus 3 8, 8 also belongs to positive integer set Z. Okay. So set of integers is closed with a binary operation plus is always a semi group. Similarly, matrix star, here star represents a binary operation, are all examples of semi group. Next definition, monoid. Okay. So a non-empty set S star is called a monoid if it satisfies the following axioms. The axioms are closure, associative, and identity element. Closure, associative, and identity element. So what is closure property? So any two elements A comma B belongs to S if satisfies the condition A star B also belongs to S. So if A comma B belongs to S, then A star B belongs to S. That is closure law. Associative, if A comma B comma C belongs to S, it satisfies the condition A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. So then S is closed with associative. And next one, identity element. Identity element means for any element A belongs to S, for any element A belongs to S, there exists an element E belongs to S. There exists an element E belongs to S such that that element A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. So if A belongs to S, there exists an element E belongs to S such that A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. Okay, this is called identity element. So the given non-empty set satisfies these three laws or these three axioms, then the set is called monoid. Okay, what are they? Closure law, associative law, and having identity element. So the non-empty set S is called monoid. A monoid is always a semi-group and algebraic structure. So monoid is always a semi-group because when we say the given set is semi-group, it satisfies these two properties, closure and associative. So a monoid is always a semi-group and also algebraic structure. So for example, set of integers is monoid as 1 is an integer which is also identity element. Okay. Set of natural numbers defined binary operation plus is not monoid because as there doesn't exist any identity element because defining on plus. So identity element means if we take 5, 5 belongs to n. So we discuss about natural number set. So 5 belongs to n. So what is the identity element condition? So a belongs to s. So here in place of s we are considering natural number set. So 5 belongs to n. There exists e belongs to s. So here the condition is 5 star in place of star binary operation given plus. So 5 plus which element we can add here? 0. So 0 యాడ్ చేస్తేనే మనకి రిజల్టింగ్ వాల్యూ 5 వస్తుంది. ఓకే. సో 5 కి ఐడెంటిటీ ఎలిమెంట్ ఏమవుతుంది? 0 అవుతుంది. కానీ in natural number set starts with 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is no identity element for 5 in natural number set. That's why natural number set with binary operation plus is not monoid as there doesn't exist any identity element. Okay, but this is semi group అవుతుంది కానీ monoid కాదు. ఓకేనా. But set of whole numbers plus is monoid with 0 as identity element. But whole number set is monoid because it has an element 0. Okay. This is about monoid. Next definition, group, the main topic. A group. So what is group? A non-empty set G star is called a group. It follows the following axioms. So first axiom, closure. So closure means if any elements A comma B belongs to belongs to Z, then A star B belongs to Z. Then A star B belongs to Z. Then we say that the given set closed with closure axiom. Okay. Next, second one, associative. So A star B star C is equal to A star B star C for all A comma B comma C belongs to Z. For all A comma B comma C belongs to Z. If we take 3 elements A, B, C, it satisfies the condition A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. Then we say that the given set has closed with associative law. Next one, identity element. So what is identity element? For A belongs to Z, there exists E belongs to Z such that A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. A star E is equal to A, E star A is equal to A. So inverse. So for each A belongs to Z, there exists an element A inverse or B. There exists an element A inverse belongs to Z such that A star A inverse is equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. A star A inverse is equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. So here star is a defining binary operation. Okay. So then we say that the given set is a group. So when we say that G is a group, G star is called a group. It satisfies the following 4 axioms. The 4 axioms are closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law. So what is closure law? If A comma B belongs to Z, then A star B belongs to Z. Associative law. If A comma B comma C are the elements in G, then it satisfies the condition A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. So identity law, if A belongs to Z, then there exists E belongs to Z such that A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. Okay. Next one, I inverse law. So for each A belongs to Z, there exists A inverse belongs to Z such that the condition is A star A inverse is equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. Okay. So a group is always a monoid because four properties, if it satisfies four properties, it is already a monoid and semi-group, and also algebraic structure. So a group is always a monoid, semi-group and algebraic structure. So Z plus and matrix multiplication is example of group. Z plus is a group, but Z dot is not a group. Z dot means Z depending on multiplication is not a group under multiplication because 2 belongs to Z. Some element 2 belongs to Z. There exists an element. The inverse element of 2 is 1 by 2. Okay, but decimal values are not 1 by 2 does not belongs to Z. So that's why Z plus C is in a group, but Z dot is not a group. So example for not a group is Z dot. Dot means here multiplication. Okay. Abelian group or commutative group. So what is abelian group? The group along with another property A star B is equal to B star A is called abelian group. So a non-empty set S star is called a abelian group. It follows the following axioms. First law is closure as we discuss in group. So associative, identity element, inverse. Along these four laws, we are having another law here, that is commutative law, that is A star B is equal to B star A. So along these four properties, we satisfy these law, we can say that given group is abelian group or commutative group. So the five properties, what are they? A comma B belongs to Z, then A star B belongs to Z, that is closure. Second, associative. If A comma B comma C belongs to Z, it satisfies the condition A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. And third, identity element. If A belongs to Z, then there exists E belongs to Z such that A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A. Okay. Inverse element, for each A belongs to Z, there exists A inverse belongs to Z such that A star A inverse is equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. Okay. Last one, commutative. So if A comma B belongs to Z, then A star B is equal to B star A. Along these five properties, the given non-empty set is called abelian group or commutative group. So here, example for abelian group is integers with binary operation plus. Matrix multiplication is a group, but matrix multiplication is not an abelian group because A into B is not equal to B into A. Matrix multiplication does not satisfy commutative property AB not equal to BA. So that's why matrix multiplication is not an example for abelian group. Okay. So properties of groups. So the following theorems can understand the elementary features of groups. So first theorem show the statement in a group G there is only one identity element. So what is the statement? In a group G there is only one identity element, or brackets low uniqueness of identity. We have to prove the uniqueness of identity. So this statement also given like that, given the identity element in a grouping is unique. The identity element in a group is unique. Okay, so proof, let G star be a group. We have to prove this statement with the contradiction way. So we have to consider the given group consists two identity elements that are, those are E and E dash. So let E and E dash are two identities in G, and let A belongs to Z. So consider E and E dash are two identities in G, and we take another element, A belongs to Z. So given G is a group. Group means it satisfies four conditions: closure, associative, identity, and inverse. So from identity law, from identity law, what is identity law? A star E is equal to A, okay, or E star A. So we am considering here left identity law. AE is equal to A for first identity element, and AE for second identity element we apply identity law. How can we write? AE dash is equal to A. Let it be equation 1 and let it be equation 2. So RHS of equation 1 and equation 2 are equal. That is, so RHS of equation 1 and RHS of equation 2 are equal. So from that we can write LHS of equation 1 and LHS of equation 2 are equal. So AE is equal to AE dash. Okay. Thus by the left cancellation law, so from by the left cancellation law, A will be cancelled. The remaining values E is equal to E dash. So here we consider E and E dash are two different elements, but here we prove E is equal to E dash. So the two elements are equal. So from that we can say that the given group G has only one identity element. So there is only one identity element in Z for any A belongs to Z. Hence the theorem is proved. So the given statement is the identity element in a group is unique. So here given G is a group. So when we say that given G is group, G satisfies the four laws. Those are closure, associative, identity, and inverse. So from that we prove this statement. So first we consider E and E dash are two identities in Z, and yeah, consider an element A belongs to Z. So we from identity law we write AE is equal to A, AE dash is equal to A. So here we observe that the RHS of these two equations are equal. From that we write AE is equal to AE dash. By cancellation law, left cancellation law, we obtain E is equal to E dash. So here E and E dash are equal. So means this is a single element. So there is only one identity element in G for any A belongs to Z. Hence the theorem is proved. Okay. So next statement in theorem 1. For each element A in a group G, there is a unique element B in G such that AB is equal to BA is equal to E. Uniqueness of inverse. Uniqueness of inverse. Okay. So what is the statement? For each element A in G, there is a unique element B in G such that AB is equal to BA is equal to E. AB is equal to BA is equal to E. Okay. So first we consider two elements. Let B and C are both inverses of A. So A has unique inverse element. We have to prove A has unique inverse element. For that we consider A has two inverse elements. Those are B and C. So then AB is equal to E. So what is the inverse law? So B is a inverse element of A. We can express this AB is equal to E, and C is an inverse element of A. Then we can express AC is equal to E by inverse axiom. Okay, so AB is equal to E and AC is equal to E. So here AC is equal to E, we consider C is equal to CE by identity element, existence of identity element. So for C we consider identity element. What is the identity element for A? A is equal to A. Similarly, we considering identity element for C, we write like C is equal to CE. Okay. So C is equal to C into here E equal to AB. Here E equal to AB. We replace E value AB. Okay. So C is equal to CA. These are in product, so we can write like this CA into B. So CA can be right EAC. AC is equal to CA by commutative law. Okay. So AC B. So here AC is equal to E. So we replace AC value is equal to E. Okay. So C is equal to EB. So by identity law of B element, we write EB is equal to B. So C is equal to B. So but we taken B and C are two inverse elements of A. So but finally we prove that two elements are equal. So a element A having single inverse element. So unique inverse element. So C is equal to B. So I'll repeat this from first. Let B and C are both inverses of A. A belongs to Z. So we take an element A in given group G. So for that we consider B and C are two inverse elements of A. So we need to prove these two inverse elements are unique. Okay. So then here B is one inverse element and C is one inverse element. We write the inverse property for B, that is AB is equal to E, and we write inverse element for C, AC is equal to E. So let us consider C is equal to CE. So from the identity law. So what is identity law? AE is equal to EA is equal to A. So here that element A. So we considering uh, the identity law for C element, we can express like C is equal to CE. Okay. So existence of identity element. So in place of E, we replace AB from this. AB is equal to A. So these are in product. Now we write this CA into B. So left side will be constant. C is equal to CA into B. So by commutative law, CA is equal to AC. So AC is equal to CA. So from this we write CA is equal to AC. So AC is equal to, here the value is equal to EB. By identity law of B, EB is equal to B. So C is equal to B. So these C and B are two inverse elements, but these are equal. From that we said the inverse element of A in G is unique. The inverse element of A in G is unique. Okay. So next property, G inverse, sorry, in a group G, A inverse whole inverse is equal to A for all A belongs to Z. So here G be a group, if A belongs to Z, then we have to prove A inverse whole inverse is equal to A. A inverse whole inverse is equal to A. So proof, we have inverse property A inverse is equal to A inverse A is equal to E. This is inverse law of group G. Okay. So where E is the identity element of G, where E is the identity element of G. So thus A is inverse of A inverse belongs to Z. A is inverse of A inverse belongs to Z. So this is inverse element of G. This can be written A inverse whole inverse. Okay. A inverse whole inverse. So A inverse whole inverse is equal to A for all A belongs to Z. Next one, next statement. In a group G, AB inverse is equal to AB whole inverse andi ikkada. AB inverse kaadu, AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse for all A comma B belongs to Z. So we have to prove AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse for all A comma B comma C. Okay. So by associative law, we have, so what is associative law? A star B star C is equal to A star B star C. Okay. So by associative law, we have B inverse A inverse is into AB is equal to B inverse A inverse A into B. So here A inverse A is equal to, by identity law, that value is equal to E. Okay. So B inverse A inverse is equal into AB is equal to B inverse A inverse A means E. EB. By identity law, EB is equal to B. So here B inverse B is equal to E. So B inverse A inverse into AB is equal to E. So this is of the form AB is equal to E. So AB is equal to E. Here B is called inverse element of A. So AB into B inverse A inverse is equal to A into B inverse. We grouping these two elements B inverse A inverse. So B inverse is equal to E. So A inverse. So that is equal to A inverse. So from inverse property A inverse is equal to E. So B inverse A inverse AB is equal to AB whole inverse B inverse A inverse is equal to E. So from this is B inverse A inverse is the inverse of AB. This can be expressed AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse. AB whole inverse and here bracket missing. AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse. Hence the theorem is proved. So once again I repeat this. So we have to prove AB whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse. So you have to remember the inverse law. So what is inverse law? AB is equal to E. Okay. AB is equal to E. So B can be expressed as B is equal to A inverse. AB is equal to E అయితే B ని మనం ఎలా రాసుకోవచ్చు అంటే B is equal to A inverse. B is called inverse element of A. B is called inverse element of A. So from this law we prove this theorem. So first we consider LHS part and we next we prove RHS part. So by associative law ఏం తీసుకుంటున్నామంటే B inverse A inverse AB is equal to, అంటే both sides associative law AB is equal to B inverse A inverse AB. దీన్ని ఎలా రాస్తున్నాం? B inverse into A inverse A into B. Okay. So left side will be same. Left side will be same here. So B inverse A inverse A is equal to E. So B inverse EB value is equal to B by identity law. So B inverse B is equal to E. Okay. So similarly, AB we can take B inverse A inverse in right side of AB. So this can be right A into BB inverse A inverse. So BB inverse value is equal to A inverse. So this value is equal to A inverse. That is equal to E. So from these two steps we write B inverse A inverse AB is equal to AB into B inverse A inverse. That is equal to identity element E. So So this is of the form. Suppose we consider this is equal to A, this is equal to B. So AB is equal to BA is equal to E form. This is inverse law. From this we say that AB is inverse element of B inverse A inverse. This can be written B inverse A inverse is equal to AB whole inverse. So hence the theorem. Next, third one. In a group G, the left and right cancellation laws holds good. That is, what are the left cancellation law and right cancellation law? AB is equal to AC implies B is equal to C. BA is equal to CA implies B is equal to C. Okay. So first we consider first one AB is equal to AC. So here we pre-multiply this value with A inverse on both sides. Pre-multiplication. So A inverse of AB is equal to A inverse of AC. So now we grouping these two elements. A inverse of A into B is equal to A inverse of A into C. So A inverse of A is equal to E. EB is equal to EC. So EB from identity law, EB is equal to B, EC is equal to C. So AB is equal to AC, which gives B is equal to C. Next one, let BA is equal to CA. So post multiplying with A inverse on both sides. Post multiplying A inverse on both sides. So BA into A inverse is equal to CA into A inverse. So here we grouping AA inverse. AA inverse is equal to E. AA inverse is equal to E. BE is equal to CA. From identity law, BE is equal to B. CE is equal to C. So BA is equal to CA. BE is equal to C. This is right cancellation law. So hence the theorem is proved. We proved left cancellation law and also right cancellation law. Next, finite and infinite group. A group G star is called a finite group if G is a finite. So the given set is finite, then G star is a group. We say that the given group is finite group, and if G star is called infinite group if G is an infinite set. Okay. So here I plus is an infinite group as the set I of integers is an infinite set. So I plus I represents integer set. Okay, in positive integer set. I plus is a binary operation on given integer set. It is a infinite group because integers positive integers set is a infinite set. Another example, the group G is equal to, here the given set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 under multiplication modulo 8. So it is a binary condition, is a finite group as the set G is a, here given G is a finite set. That's why this group G is finite group. Thank you.